Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic.
What's an animal everyone thinks is harmless but in reality is very dangerous? I asked a zookeeper once which animal she thought was the scariest to work with. She said giraffes because they're so big and so stupid. Edit. Turns out a lot of Redditors have had run-ins with giraffes. People have pointed out that other large herbivores are also dangerous. Nature is scary. I saw a similar thread where they said ostriches are way more dangerous than people realize. I don't think the average person considers them harmless. But I don't think it's common knowledge how easily they can disembowel a person with a single kick. I feel like most birds are acutely aware of the fact that they used to be dinosaurs. Swans and geese and even seagulls will go all Jurassic Park on your ass with barely any provocation. But they're small and can't do all that much damage. The idea of an ostrich with the temperament of a goose is legitimately terrifying. Emmanuel. Don't do it. Quote. I, personally, always thought bison were dangerous. But the National Park Service recently found it necessary to put up signs warning people, don't pet the fluffy cows. Yeah. I mean, I don't get the logic of some people. They see a minivan of meat with the temperament of a 4-year-old boy, and decided to go pet it. Deer versus your car, you gotta a bit of a chance. Bison versus your car, it's a one-hit KO. Bison versus you and it's gonna cancel your subscription to life. Edit. For people saying it sounds like Casual Geographic. You're absolutely right. I used some of his style when writing this lol. That's the thing, they don't see a minivan of meat with the temperament of a 4-year-old boy. They see a fluffy grazing herbivore. And assume that since it doesn't eat meat that it must be friendly and docile. I find this very concerning. Why on earth would anyone think it's safe to get close to a bison? Even the ones that are farmed are aggressive. I worked in Grand Teton National Park for 3 seasons. There's a reason staff call these people taurons. People would regularly climb fences to get closer even with others around them calling them back. I've heard parents make plans to take their kids out in the park to try and pet them. Thankfully I was able to explain why that's not a great idea. Then you get the people who harass them when herds are crossing the road. They honk at them as though doing that will make them hurry up. All it does is piss him off. The males stand in the road to hold up the cars while the females and young offspring cross. They know what cars are and how to deal with them. Amusingly, moose look more friendly, but are even more aggressive than bison. A Yosemite Park ranger. In discussing the difficulty of designing an effective bear-proof garbage container, there is considerable overlap between the intelligence of the smartest bears and the dumbest tourists. George Carlin, think of how stupid the average person is. And realize half of them are stupider than that. People are really dumb. Lots of visitors to national parks don't realize that national park equals wilderness with human caretakers. Park rangers are almost always asked, where do you keep your animals, by clueless tourists. They think it's a theme park where the animals are all trained and have special places for them to be put on display for the tourists during the day, then herded back to their nighttime enclosures when the visitors go home or back to their hotels. Beware of beavers. Beavers will stand their ground and confront a threat. If trapped, cornered, or ensnatched, a beaver will attack a human. The rodent's sharp teeth may cause serious injury as well as infection. Beavers carry tularemia, parasites, and rabies, which can transfer through bites, body fluids, or infected water. Before beavers attack humans or other animals, they send a warning by growling and hissing. On land, the animal rises to its hind legs to face a threat. In the water, a startled beaver slaps its tail against the surface to alert others in the colony before diving to safety. I had a beaver shadow me for about a half-mile while I was wade fishing a small river. Whenever I stopped to fish, it swam within about 15 feet from me and slapped its tail against the water. So I would move farther downstream, but it would just repeat the process. It was probably protecting little ones. But finally I got so unnerved I decided that was enough fishing for one day. Lol. Man got bullied by a beaver. I've heard a beaver slap its tail in the water before. You'd think someone just fired a shotgun at you. I was fishing once dozing in and out by a tree on a nice day when kapow. A beaver slapped the water about 6 feet from me. Scared me to death. Was kayaking and thought someone cannonballed into the water behind me. Turned out to be an angry beaver. My uncle is a zoologist and the only animal he was ever attacked by was a meerkat. Edit. Spelling meerkat to meerkat. I'm a zoo volunteer, got bitten by a meerkat a few months ago. It just darted up and bit my finger for no reason, little jerk. They are fast. Yeah, he said that they're really aggressive and to be extra careful around them. Ladybugs are adorable and precious to humans, but to other bugs they are poisonous death tanks. They are the best response to aphids taking over one's rose bushes. Absolutely. One of the insects I buy is larvae or eggs to release them in my garden. They kill almost everything that targets plants. Add a few ichneumon wasps and you got your own pest death squad in your garden. D. In that same vein, dragonflies are insane glass cannon killing machines to other insects. I've heard them described as the shark of the insect world. Not everyone, but I see a few people get dangerously close to big birds like hawks and eagles. I'm like, people, those birds almost got bigger claws than bears, leave them alone. I work with them quite often and yeah, if you don't know what you are doing and how to properly handle them, it can be very, very dangerous. Also, people letting their little tiny rabbit-sized dogs walk off leash in areas where I know there are raptors drives me mad. There's no way you'd be able to save your dog if one decided they looked like a good meal. Also, people letting their little tiny rabbit-sized dogs walk off leash in areas where I know there are hawks, eagles drives me mad. Or letting their cats run around. Even at night, it's dangerous. Large owls will eat cats, too. An eagle almost swooped in on my dog when she was just 6 months old. I saw the shadow cast on the sidewalk start to get larger. I tugged the leash in and picked her up by the harness. Thankfully, it didn't seem in full attack mode. I don't think I'd have time to react if it was. Many years ago, I had a customer and her daughter tell me about a hawk snatching up their tiny dog out of the yard. Right in front of them. I always remember that because it's crazy and because their reactions were a mixed sadness and absolute amazement.